Hello and welcome to tonight's video. We'll be looking at the army lists for the Gathering in the Grey Havens event 2019 hosted by Harlequin Store, Preston. So we've got a brief run through of the 20 army lists which are being used in the event. There is, I've got my technical post-it note with my little stats for you. I haven't looked at either Lord of the Rings armies or Hobbit armies because there are a few which are combined, so I haven't looked at that, but we do have the some facts for you. So we've got 12 good armies and 8 evil armies. Out of the good armies, we have got 3 legendary legions. There are no legendary legions being used for the evil. So we've got the 3 legendary legions. We've got 2 pure good armies on top, where we've got 3 pure evil armies. We've got 1 Green Alliance evil with 5 Green Alliance good. So that is the biggest collection out of all the breakdowns we've got. Both good and evil both have 2 yellow alliances, and then we have got 2 red alliances for evil. These 2 armies are actually identical. Some of the other lists are similar, where these 2 red allies are identical. So it will be interesting to see how the 2 players, which are 2 good players, have it. Not sure if we've seen a red alliance since the FAQs came into effect, which has nerfed them slightly, but they are being fully enforced at Preston because of when they were released. So we'll get to see with that. We haven't had any profiles from the Shire book. Wasn't sure if we would or not, but I think they might be too new for people to risk it or anything. But as I say, we've only got profiles from... There's a few profiles from Gondor at War. And then we've got The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings being played. So we're going to do the 20 lists in the pairings they've got. And we're going to do them in table order. So we'll start with table 1, which is Craig Cameron and Chris Nicholson. So Craig's list. Some lists I'll go into more details than others. So for Craig's list, he is using a pure evil list. This is an Uruk-hai list. So he's got some nice ranged with Rasku leading 10 Uruk-hai crossbowmen. He's then got 2 identical Uruk-hai captains with shields, with both 6 Uruk-hai with shields and 6 Uruk-hai with pikes. So there's 2 warbands like that. And then he's got Uglug as well with 2 berserkers and 1 Uruk-hai with shield. So he's got a few berserkers there where he needs them, but he's got some block units and he's got a devastating unit of crossbowmen. So depending on some of the scenarios, they could do very good, or they could be susceptible for some combat from Maelstrom battle, because there's nothing much there sturdy. It might be fight 4, strength 4, but with their low defense, they could be vulnerable to a Maelstrom ambush there. So remember, game 1 is recon. So against Chris's list, he's gone for a green ally. This is the first of a few second age lists. So he's got Elendil leading 12 Numenor warriors. All the Numenor have got shields with 6 spears, and he does have 1 banner. And then he's got Gilgalad. He's given Gilgalad a shield, where he hasn't. I've noticed he hasn't given Elendil a shield to leave his master crafted 2-handed sword free to just chop away going 2-handed. So he's got Gilgalad with a shield. 13 high elf warriors, and he's made all 13 Kingsguard, so he's paid them extra points to make them all Kingsguard for fight 6. Whether instead of, because I know before he's used only the 6 with spears fight 6, but he's gone all 13 fight 6. He's got, as I say, 6 of them with shield and spear, and then 3 with bow, and the rest just with a sword. So that is quite going to be that is gone over the normal fight 5. But when I think about fight 5 and elves, there isn't actually that many elves in this event for him to have tied that fight 5 anyway. If memory serves me correctly, there is only one other elf list. So where that fight 5 to fight 6 balance comes up with, if it's going to pay off, not sure, but it will go toe to toe with some of the other heroes. So recon wise, Craig's got 41 models, Chris has got 27. It's going to be touch and go. If Craig doesn't mind shooting into combat, it's going to be quite cool halfway across the board. But Craig does have the numbers to run past Chris, but Chris does have the 3 heroic combat with Elendil, and he's got obviously Blood and Glory to try and catch up with Gilgalad. So it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be an interesting one to have. And these are 2 local players, so they do play often. So it's going to be too close to call. I wouldn't want to put money on this one. So now we go on to table 2. So we've got Paul and David, and if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if Paul is Scottish or not, so it could be 2 Scots. I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me, and I'm sorry if you aren't Scottish. Paul is using a green good army, which is Numenor, so this is another second age list. So he's got Elendil on horse, and he's got Isildur, so he's gone pure Numenor here. He's got 35 models, so he's got some, he's got a banner as well, so both Numenor lists have got a banner. He's got 7 bows, and then a mixture for the rest with shield and spear. Shield on its own and shield and spear. So we've got 35 models. And then we've got David Reed. Now, when I said there's not many other elf lists, I forgot about David's. I do actually have to apologise for this, because I remembered about one other, but I forgot David's. So David is running an elf list. It's a green good list, because it's Rivendell allied with the Fellowship. So this isn't the first list which has got Legolas allied in with it. So we've got Rivendell with Elrond, horse and armour. We've got 10 Rivendell knights, all with shields and 1 with a banner. And then we've also got another high elf captain with horse, lance, shield and bow. And then obviously, like I've said, Legolas with armour and horse. So it's a fully mounted, only 13 model list. So he will engage a lot closer to Paul's table edge. But we've got 35 models versus 13 models. So there is pros and cons to both ways. You've got 2 big heroes here, where you've got Elrond is quite a beast, but then again, Nature's Wrath, or Wrath of Bruin, has been nerfed with the FAQ. So which way could it go? It could be interesting to see. So now we've got table 3. This is Will champion versus Lee. Will has to be one of the people more eager to see all the lists. So at least he gets to see his opponent quite early on in the video. So both these players are using evil lists. So we'll go through Will's first. He's got Nazug, who's his general. Oh, my laptop's just gone off, so I can't see the table numbers. So we've got Nazug, who's Will's general, leading 6 hunter orcs with bows, 5 hunter orcs, one of which has got a banner, and a warg. He's got another 2 hunter orc warbands. One's Thimble on warg, leading the same troops, and the other one is Yasnik on warg and a lance, again leading the same troops. Obviously, only Nazug unit's got a banner, but all 3 of them have got 6 hunter orcs with bows, 5 hunter orcs, and a warg. So he's got the wargs there to will help quite nicely with recon to start off. He's then got his first ally in with this, which is a mercenary captain with 4 mercenaries. So depending on the terrain, also that is quite strong for recon. Start up the tournament off strongly, and then he's also got the Lingering Shadow as another ally. So all of them are green allies together, and with that composition, I would say that's composition of the 3 wargs and the mercenaries, quite good for recon. I have to admit, the time I've used evil was at Ed's event at Sutton, and I used mercenary goblins. I used a full warband of 12 and the captain, and I literally ran the captain back towards the fight, and I just went, there's 12 goblins straight off the table. So recon and mercenary goblins are really good. So Lee's list. So this is, as I say, it's an evil list, but this is a pure list. So we've got alerts with some berserkers, Uruk-hai warriors, 1 Uruk-hai warrior with a shield, 7 orc warriors with shield and spears, Uglug, 6 Uruk-hai warriors with shield, 6 orc warriors with shield and spear, and then he's got Vrasku with 10 crossbowmen. He's also got another warband, which is an Uruk-hai siege ballista. Now, this isn't the first, well, it's not the last siege engine we're going to see tonight in the lists. So that could give Will a bit of trouble, but looking at the list, I think Will's list will outperform this. No offence to Lee, it's going to be a very tough matchup for him. So I do wish Lee the best, to give Will a good fight on this, but looking at the list, Will's list is built for this mission to start off. How they're going to match up and who's going to win later on in the event, it's going to be tough to say, but for scenario 1, I do feel slightly sorry for Lee because of out of all the lists, I think Will's would do best at recon. So I do have to feel a bit sorry for Lee on this. I haven't said anything, but it's 42 models for Lee, 45 models for Will. So actually looking at number wise, it is similar on numbers, but the blister could help out. We'll have to see how it goes, and whether at the end of the event Lee thinks the blister over more troops was worth it. But to be fair, his rest of the warbands are quite maxed out. He can only fit maybe 3 troops more in. So actually, blister versus you'd have had to have got another character. What happens with that? I'd probably say blister would be a nice little change. So table 4. This is Kel versus Chris Selby. As I said in the draw video, this is Chris's second event, so it'll be interesting, and it's both lists are pure dwarfs. So out of all of the lists, there's 2 pure dwarf lists, and they've actually managed to hit each other in recon, which is quite surprising. So if we look at cows, we've got an Iron Hill and an Erebor Reclaim list all merged together, which is quite nice and themed. And we've got 23 models there, where Chris Selby's gone for a Moria list, which is a Barlin list with 38 models. So there is a lot more models for Selby, or Chris I should say, but we're going to have to see how it turns out. So if we go through Cal's list, we've got Dane Ironfoot on boar, which is pretty standard. We've got 9 Iron Hill Dwarves, all with spear, 1 with banner. The other warband is the Siege blister, so the Twirly Whirly. So that's the second Siege equipment in 2 lists we've just seen. And then he's got his allied in Erebor Reclaimed with Thorin Oaken Shield, King on the Mountain with Orcrist and Wargoat. And then 8 Iron Hill Dwarves, all with Spear. So his troops are slow, but he's got 2 quick heroes, which could make a difference. When we look at Chris Selby's list, he's got 3 big warbands of a lot of troops. So he's got Barlin there, he's got some rangers with throwing axes, he's got a couple of warriors with shields, and then he's got more rangers with 2-handed axes and throwing axes, and he's got a Vault Warden team in there for good measure. He's got Floy. Not sure what Floy's going to really be looking at against this dwarf list, what he could turn off. I'm not 100% sure. You might get rid of Twirly Whirly special rule, maybe. Maybe to allow him to shoot, I don't know. But he's got Floy. He's then got 12 rangers with longbow and throwing axes. So yeah, it's a bit strange having 2 sets of ranged weapons, but I've done it before because throwing axes does come in quite nice when you want to charge into combat. Then his third warband is obviously King's Champion with 2 heralds. So he does have a banner there where there's no banner for Cal really, but Cal's got spears where Chris doesn't, so it's one of them toss-ups again. And then so he's got King's Champion, 2 heralds, he's got another set of 4 rangers with 2-handed weapons and throwing axes, he's got 3 rangers with throwing axes, and then he's got another 2 warriors with shields. So it is more ranger based, but that is a lot of throwing axes. And even with Twirly Whirly, when you're getting into close combat and charging in, them throwing axes could, in missions going forward especially, could do a lot of damage. But even in this scenario, against high defense dwarves, it could make a difference if it gets a kill or 2 off. But as I say, 38 against 23. It will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see this one. I am going to have my video set up, so if there is any of these lists you're seeing which you most want filmed, do a comment below and we will endeavour to get that matchup filmed, because there's 1 or 2 which do seem quite interesting. So we go on to table 5 now. So we've got Richard Woods versus Chris Corsins. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your surname wrong. So we've got Richard, he's using a yellow-green list versus a yellow-red list. So both of them are allies by convenience. so they don't get their army bonuses. Where we do have dwarves and elves for Richard. So we will go through this. So we're going to start off with Dane King of Khazad-dûm as the leader. Strong leader choice, really hard to kill. He's got 11 half guards, so these are the upgraded for 2 points, which is 2 points worth burly to lose your negative loss of two-handed weapons for your I can't even think of it now. Khaza warriors. 1 point, definitely worth it. 2 points, it is one of them toss-ups. I'm not sure if it's worth, but he's given all 11 that upgrade. And then he's got a dwarf warrior with shield and banner to help them out. So that is a quite sturdy like core block of troops there. He's got his Rivendell ally. So it's got Aristar there with 4 high elf warriors, all with shield and spear. He's got then 3 warriors with bow and spear. And then he's got his next warband, which is Círdan. I think it's the only Círdan in the event, funnily enough. With 4 elf warriors with shield and spear, and another 2 elf warriors with bow and spear. So it's quite interesting. I'm not sure what Círdan's going to do in this scenario, because of that he's against no shooting. So blinding light's gone. Enchanted blades might come up useful. It's going to be interesting, but I think Círdan's not going to do much, in my opinion, on this one. So he's against the Undying on Felbeast as a leader. There is Drizag as a spellcaster in this list, but other than that, there is no other magic in this list. So Undying, if it was me personally, I might have gone for Knight of Umbar. But this is a but each their own. So they've got the Undying on Felbeast. You've got the 4 Black Numenorians. You've got 6 Ronin Orcs with spear and shield, and then you've got 3 Ronin Orcs with just spear. 3 Ronin Orcs with just shield. We've got Grishnak with a shield then. 5 Ronin Orcs with shield, 4 Ronin Orcs with shield and spear. This is an ally which I was a bit shocked at, but it is really nice to see. So he's allied it with Drizag, with 2 Bat Swarms, which are very nice. I have to say, Bat Swarms are really useful. In last edition, Bat Swarms were a lot more powerful because it halved the fight. Now that in this edition you can have your fight from your spears, Bat Swarm only makes you half your fight for models in base contact. So it doesn't half any fights from spears. So the Bat Swarm this edition has been nerfed a bit, but if you pull it off right, they are still powerful. Especially when you enrage beast them. It is quite nasty. But it only makes them fight 4, and if you've got an elf spear here, behind that fight 5, Bat Swarm still loses. But he's got 2 Bat Swarms, 2 Giant Spiders, and 5 Wargs. So that is Chris's speed for recon, which is quite nice. He's also got a bit of speed for some of the other scenarios later on in the event, like Final One Domination. It's going to come in quite useful there. Who's going to win this scenario? Hard to say. This is actually another, I'd say, could be quite close. I actually haven't written how many models is in Chris's army. One sec. So we've got 34 models against 28 models. What's going to win? More powerful heroes here, yes. Bit more speed here. Not 100% sure. Oh, I would like to say massive thanks to Richard. Really nice out of all the army lists. Really nice army list. He's got his name, his GBHL player number, the army lists, and all the points and everything. Really nice, really clear, and one of the clearest army lists to read, mark, and check. So thank you very much, Richard. And I'm not saying, but you might have a fellow in the award ceremony for that. So we move on to table 6. So we've got Ryan versus Matt. I was about to say it was a mirror match, but no, this is Matthew Wilding versus Ryan. So you'll see why I say, when I looked down for a second and saw the names, thought it was the mirror match, because I just put Matt on top of Matt Wilding's list. So we'll do Matt's first. So this is a Legendary Legion, and it's the Rangers of Aphelion Legendary Legion. It's not one I've seen most. It's one I really want to play at 450. 450, I think it's going to be quite fun. But I've never really looked at using it at over 500 points, so, but we'll see how it goes. So he's got Faramir on horse, has to be the general. So we've got one warrior of Minas Tirith with banner. We have got 5 rangers. We've got another 7 rangers with spear, because remember, any warband with Faramir, Damrod and Medril, are all of their warbands are Rangers of Gondor do not count towards bow limit. So this can be a very heavy list of bows. So it will be quite interesting. This even potentially will be able to outshoot Ed. The only one it probably couldn't outshoot is Kells, because it's got the Twirly Whirly. So we'll see how it gets on. So we'll finish Faramir's unit because he also has 2 heroes within Faramir's warband. He's got Frodo and Sam. So he has gone for the hobbits. He's gone for the theme. However, there is no prize for theme. There is absolute 0 prize, not even a Frodo for theme. So we have got, I'll recap that because it was broken up a bit. So Faramir on horse, 1 warrior of Minas Tirith with banner, 5 rangers of Gondor, 7 rangers of Gondor with spear, Frodo and Sam. Then we've got Madril's unit. You've got another 5 rangers of Gondor, 6 rangers of Gondor with spear, and then you've got Damrod with 3 rangers of Gondor, and then 3 rangers of Gondor with spear. He's also got a 4th hero in that, 4th warband, captain of Minas Tirith, on horse and lance. No shield though, which is a bit strange. Is a lance worth more than a shield? Personally, I would have gone with a shield. It's just me. So that's Matt's list. Then Ryan's list. So this is a evil red alliance. So we've got Shadow Lord on Fellbeast to start things off, as your general. 5 Black Númenóreans, 5 Orcs with shield and spear, and then 3 trackers. You've got one of the new in Gondor at War, which isn't actually that new now, but Gruznik, is the one which basically gives you, bring him on first, you get plus or minus 1 to your reinforcement rolls, and then if he's on the board, you get to plus and minus them for 1. quite nice. Very useful in this list when you've got a Shade and Spider Queen where you want them both more controlled, even if it's Maelstrom to come on. So with that, you've got 5 Black Numenorians and then 5 Orcs with Spear. You've got a Shade allying in there, and then you've also got the Spider Queen and it says Base Swarm. It is a typo, it is a Bat Swarm in there. So that is a red alliance. I might be wrong, but I think Matt Light used a very similar list to this for the first time in Winchester. So I think I have to give Matt credit for coming up with this list. I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. But yeah, Ryan is using that list this weekend. So now we move on to table 7. So we've got Hamish versus Matt Light. Cut story short, Matt Light's list is the exact same as Ryan's. I did say there was 2 mirrors, and there is one thing different out of the whole thing. Matt has put 2 trackers with the Shadow Lord and 1 in the other warband, where Ryan's got all 3 with the Shadow Lord. Other than that, them 2 lists are identical. So this could very well be whoever places higher with it can whoever used that list the best. But other than that, they are exactly the same. And how it's going to work with the new FAQs, not sure. Because I know at some point, when I first saw this list being used, the Shade had Orcs with them, and it doesn't now. And I can see that strongly being influenced by the new set of FAQs, which have gone, you kill a couple of Orcs, then that Shade might run away. So the Shade now, if you can ambush it on its own, could be a lot of pain for the Shade, but even in Maelstrom battle it's going to be harder with that +1 swing. So it can be brought on more reliably where you want it. So Matt is facing a Legendary Legion. This is Riders of Theoden. This has a similar counterpart later on in this video, I have to say, but there are differences. So Warband 1, Theoden, King of Rohan, Armoured Horse, Shield, standard 100 points. You sort of have to take it like that. In his warband, he's got 3 Royal Guard with Throwing Spear, and then another 5 Royal Guard just with horse. Because remember, this army list has to be fully mounted. So he's got 3 Royal Guard with Throwing Spear, and then 5 normal Royal Guard. Warband 2, Gambling with the standard of Rohan, again quite standard. 6 Riders Rohan there, and then another 2 Royal Guard. And then Warband 3 and 4, no troops with the heroes. So we've got Eomer and Dernhelm. Can't really say much about that list. It is a Legendary Legion list, and for everybody who's been to events and faced that list, there's different variations, but it's a standard list. Next we've got Table 8, Battle of the Scots. James Gilray, most spelling mistakes in all the lists, so well done. No prize for that though, no prize. So James Gilroy, he's got an evil list. It's an ally of convenience. So we've got Dalamir, 3 Arbalistas, 3 Corsairs with shields. 3 Corsairs with spears, 6 Corsairs with shields. Dalamir, 3 Arbalistas, 2 Corsairs with shields, 6 Corsairs with spears. A Bosun with 3 Reavers, another 5 Arbalistas, another 3 Spearmen, with an ally of Shadowlord on horse and a Warg Rider. So it is an ally of convenience. Quite a nice Corsair list with Shadowlord of Filth to mix in with it. So yeah, looking at the list, whether losing the army bonus and more Corsairs was worth the Shadowlord, but submitting it early like you have to do with this event, it's hard to tell what you need to take. And then we've got Ian. This is the last Legendary Legion of today. Again, Riders of Theoden list. I know he did plan to take a different list, and then he playtested it over the weekend, and he got trounced. So he went, he's not going to use it, he's going to change to this list. So it's similar to the other Riders of Rohan list, but different iteration. So we've got Theoden, obviously, 2 Riders of Rohan, 2 Royal Guard, 1 Royal Guard with Spear in his warband. Aemir, 2 Royal Guard, 2 Riders of Rohan, 2 Royal Guard with Throwing Spear. He's got Gambling with 2 Riders of Rohan, 2 Royal Guard on horse, and then Durnhelm with a Riders of Rohan and 2 Royal Guard on horse. So he's got all his troops split out evenly over the warbands, where the other one did leave like 2 heroes troopless. This does mean Gambling's a bit less protected if you do get a Maelstrom game, but it's a Legendary Legion Rohan list. Neither list has got Elfhelm in it though, which is a bit strange. I do like him. Whether he's worth, Aemir's worth more, hard to tell. But yeah, no Elfhelm. So going on to table 9, we've got Jasmine versus Thomas. Jasmine was the first one to submit her armor list, so thanks very much. So if we look at Jasmine, it is a yellow army. I looked at it the first time and was like, why is it yellow? And then saw that Legolas was allied into it, and I was like, oh. So, like earlier in the video, we've got a Legolas allied in. So, first warband is Boromir, captain of the White Tower, banner, horse, shield, everything basically. We've got 6 Fountain Court there with shields. We've got 6 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shields. We've got 2 Knights of Minas Tirith with shields to go with Boromir on the horse. We've got Madril, again, before that, bringing on more reliably. So we've got Madril with 6 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, 3 Rangers of Gondor with spear, another 3 Fountain Court with shield, allied with Legolas on horse, and a Wood Elf Sentinel. So no magic, but there is a Sentinel there to help move stuff around if need be. Might help the Boromir heroic combating straight into stuff. So army size of 30, with Legolas as the leader. Legolas as leader? No Elven Cloak. Interesting, I have to say. Even though you want to throw Boromir in there, I might have gone with Boromir. Hard to say. So Thomas's list. This is pure evil list, pure Mordor. Quite nice, I have to say, this list. If I looked at all the lists, might say this one's my favourite, may do. So we've got Shagrat, Captain of Filion, Heavy Armour, and Shield of Curafungal. Good general, I have to say. 8 Blackguard of Barad-dûr, 3 Mordor Uruk-hai with shield, 1 Mordor Uruk-hai with two-handed weapon. Gorbag with shield, 3 Mordor Stalkers, 4 Morannon Orcs with shield and spear, 1 Orc with banner, 4 Trackers. The Orc I cannot pronounce, Gunritz, one of the new orcs from Gondor and War. Master of Reserves, hopefully that will help you out because it's Master of Reserves. 2 Orc Warriors with Spear, 5 Morannon Orcs with Shield and Spear, and 4 Trackers. And then Warband 4, Shelob! So 39 models. It'll be interesting, that one. I can't say interesting. Now, table 10. Some of you might be more interested with this one because of, for Will, this is the one which he will care mostly about, trying to steal Ed's top spot in the league rankings. So, Ed's only got 13 models. He's got Elrond on a horse with heavy armour as his general. He's got 11 knights with shield and 1 with banner. He's got 1 elf on foot with shield, spear and bow. And then he's got Saruman on horse. So for lists, Ed has changed it a bit because it used to have a lot more Nature's Wrath in it. Again, this could be seen with the FAQs, with Nature's Wrath being nerfed, or Wrath of Bruin, I should say, both the same. And then we've got the last second age list allying in with it. So we've got a green ally, which is Eladin, High King of Gondor and Arnor as the leader, horse and shield. Again, once you lose the horse, is the having a shield worth losing the ability to mastercraft it two-handed? Is it worth it? Not 100% sure. 6 Numenor warriors with shield and spear, 4 Numenor warriors with bow and spear. With allied with Gilgalad, horse and shield, 1 Rivendell knight with shield, 3 high elf warriors with shields, 7 high elf warriors with shield and spear, and 3 high elf warriors with elf bow and spear. So Ed's got the movement. I have to say Ed's got the movement with that list. How it's going to work together. We've got Saruman's going to make a list. Nice mess, or hopefully enough of a mess of David to stop his heroes on horses getting a good charge in, which could make the difference maybe. I would have maybe taken a few Kingsguard for David Alexander. That would have given a nice little power against Ed. But David's got 26 models, double the amount of models, but is it going to be the same? I think, knowing the list and how Ed uses it, I think Ed could have that one. Going through the rest of the scenarios, all of them have good points, all of them have bad points. There's none which have strayed too far away from one. The scenarios are in set order because of, I think, domination being the final one does stretch the good players more, because of you can't just go for elite heroes because you're going against the second best player of the event if you're in first place at the moment. So, and then you've got to spread out as well as doing well. So the set order of them, and then there's some like recon benefit large numbers, then there's others which large numbers are a downfall. So it's a good spread in a set order to really test the players in the different ways. Who's going to do best out of everything? Who knows? We'll see on Sunday. So stay tuned, keep up to date with all the news from the event if you're not there, and I'll see you this weekend. I hope you enjoyed this army review. Good night.